Wizards Post-Game Live.
Down in South Beach the night before Thanksgiving, Tyler Hero reactivated after spending some time down. 17 points, 5 for 10 from behind the arc to help the Miami Heat get the 113-105 final score. The win for the Heat, a little bit of revenge since the last time that we saw them here in the nation's capital. Welcome to Post-Game Live. Wes Hall here with Coach Jimmy Patsos. I'll have Chris and Drew, Megan joining us all here momentarily, along with head coach Wes Unseld Jr. at the post-game podium. But, Coach, I want to get your thoughts on this one first. You and I were here at halftime. We know that things were a little not in our favor, being down 17. What do you make of the rest?
No, you saw me take the deep breath, because that's what you do going into the locker room. There was so much good. We've seen this before in sports. We use so much energy coming back.
Yeah.
We took the lead 93-92. Miller even said we won. I caught him on that for the record. He said Wizards win, because we were so excited to be down 21, and Will Barton hits a 3 to go up 1. And then right there, it's a dogfight. A couple of loose balls. Caleb Martin, he banked a 3. He hit a 3 with the clock going down, and he got the old Sidney Lowe, NC State Lorenzo Charles ball, where he caught it underneath with the. Those 3 plays, that's 8 points by Caleb Martin. A bank 3, a clock running down 3. Those are breaks of the games. Those are little things, and that's probably what I would go in and say. We're so close. We did a lot of good things, but we got to win Friday. Like, we're not getting swept down here, fellas.
Oh, no, that's not going to happen. And just looking at some of the positives that you mentioned for the night, Denny Abdia going for another double-double with 12 points and 10 dimes, 1 rebound away from a triple-double. Kyle Kuzma gives you 33 points.
He played so good driving the ball to the basket, Kuzma. I know that they played zone and dared us to shoot threes. We didn't shoot threes well. We had a couple-of-minute stretch, and that's when we took the lead. Maybe at the end we got a 4. Maybe we just got to take a lot of 2s to start the game. It was just a game where there were a couple of runs where they made that we just couldn't quite keep up. But this was a solid. There's no quit. You took the lead.
Yeah.
Kispert didn't have a good night shooting the ball, but he was feisty. Goodwin showed you he could play. I thought Will Barton's kind of coming out of it. He's learning. Will Barton started for 5 years. Coming off the bench, this is new to him. And clearly Wes Unseld, Tommy Shepard, and the organization has decided for Will, we need your veteran leadership off the bench. So he's getting used to it. There hasn't been even 20 games yet. Right. I thought Will Barton handled that well. Will Barton fueled the comeback. So many big things. But Tyler Hero hit 2 threes. And that's my thing. Tyler Hero, he's pretty good.
No, yeah, if you haven't already noticed that he is. Something else, 2 things that stood out to me. One was the 17-point second quarter. We'll get to that in a little bit later on. But back to Kyle Kuzma, struggling from 3. He was 2 for 13 from behind the arc, but he gave you 7 boards. And this is the first time that he scored over 20 points this season and the team lost. What more could he have done tonight? I mean, like I said, we thought that we were looking for in our bold prediction for him to beat all of his averages at 29-4. He gave you 33, 7, and 1 tonight, Coach.
I think he's fantastic. And what Kyle Kuzma said, remember the piece we ran on him before the game, it's hard to win on the road. We had a couple of missed free throws. They had a couple of breaks go their way. You have to build on that. But he was unstoppable driving the ball. But, he's Kyle Kuzma. He's going to take threes if you leave him wide open. I didn't mind the late threes. I thought we just settled a little in the first half. They went zone, and we probably took a few too many threes.
Fair enough, Coach. I want to bring in Chris and Drew, as I promised when we first started here post-game live. Guys, I know you guys are enjoying being in South Beach. I wish tonight would have ended in a dub. But, Drew, of all the things that we've talked about, if you've heard us, what stood out to you most about tonight's game, why it did go in Washington's favor?
The first half. I think they started off in that first quarter jumping out 10-3. So I was like, okay, their defense and offense is actually traveling with them. But soon as Kyle Lowry got activated in that first half, having 24 points, and everybody was kind of cold and not in a rhythm, a shooting rhythm offensively, and you couldn't get the timely stops that you needed or the consistency of stops defensively. And then it just became you was playing comeback ball the entire game. 21-point deficit. You fought back to come back and have a chance to win the game. But ultimately, I think that first half, they just did too much damage to the Washington Wizards.
Drew, there were several opportunities in the first half where the Wizards were in the middle of that Miami Heat zone, and they're right there in the paint, 4 or 5 feet from the basket, and they just couldn't hit those shots. And I just thought that just kind of manifested itself throughout the game. I thought Miami's zone defense was really good. And as much as we talked about who wasn't available last Friday, we can't say that about Washington. Listen, no Beal, no Hachimura, no Monte Morris, but I love the fight from the team. And we were asking who was going to be somebody that stepped up. Here's two things you can take away from this game. Denny Avdia, again, that rebound away from a triple-double. But I love what Will Barton gave the Wizards. Now, let's see what happens when we get those other 3 guys available to play on Friday. The beauty of this 2-game series in 3 days in this place is if you get a split, you're up 2-1 in the regular season series, and you'll see them towards the end of the season, guys.
Guys, indulge me for a brief moment. Let's run it back as if nothing changes about tonight. So no Rui, no Brad, no DeLon. How does the Wiz take tonight's performance and flip it into a dub on Friday, given the same personnel available?
Well, you're going to have to make adjustments. You saw towards the tail end of the game, maybe about 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, they were running Porzingis in as many pick and rolls as possible, making him having to slide his feet, having to guard 2 people or cover 2 things. Whether he had to stop the drive and then close out the shooters, or close out the shooters in enough time to get back to somebody driving the ball. So he's going to have multiple efforts defensively, especially when they go to look to run that set like they did in that fourth quarter.
You have got to turn Tyler Hero's water off. I said that in the pregame show. This is a young man that can get going quick, fast, and in a hurry. He had 12 points there in that fourth quarter. He hit his first 3 threes in the fourth quarter. So the Wizards had to figure something out. But you can't let Kellen Martin also score 9 points in the fourth quarter. So it was almost as if Kyle Lowry kind of set the tone, couple jabs, and then these other 2 guys came in with a haymaker to close the show in the fourth quarter.
Chris and Drew, I appreciate
they jumped him.
Yeah, pretty much. Guys, I appreciate your call as always. I know they're trying to get you out of the arena, so you guys enjoy. Happy Thanksgiving to both of you and your families, guys.
Somebody's cooking tomorrow. I can't wait.
Drew was talking about In-N-Out Burger. Hey, Drew, stop talking about In-N-Out Burger during the show, too.
I'm starving right. Let's just stop talking about food, period, right now, Coach. I'm starving.
Well, guys, we appreciate it. Go get you some food. Coach and I'll be here breaking down more of this game. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Happy Thanksgiving to you guys.
Likewise.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody behind the scenes that make all you knuckleheads and us knuckleheads look good. We appreciate everything you guys do for us. Go enjoy some turkey
Especially
tomorrow.
the person that's cutting the check. Have a good, great Thanksgiving. Have the best of best.
I love it. Appreciate you guys. Coach, that's what I love about those 2. Just make it fun. You know, obviously we're upset about a loss, but they help keep things in perspective. All is not lost. We get to see this exact same team in 48 hours, and that should leave just enough sting, long enough for you to remember what went wrong today.
Look, these guys, you know, Drew competed for a long time. Miller, you ever go to a high school game? Go to a DeMatha game with Miller or an AAU game with Chris Miller. He's a competitive guy. He wants to win. You got to be proud of the effort. There was so many good things. They didn't quit. They took the lead. But here, Tyler Hero, I'm going to trap the ball screen coming off.
Yeah.
It's what Drew talked about. What do you do differently? They're going to run Porzingis into the screen and roll. I'm going to trap Hero, not letting it beat us. But just get the split. It's a road. It's one of those 2-game series. So what? Go down and get the split. But a lot of good things happened tonight. We just didn't get the win. That would be my message.
I got a question for you. So I'm looking at the stats line. Kuz gave you 33. Porzingis gave you 21 and 9. He almost gave you another double-double on the season. But when I see the next highest scorer is Will Barton with 13 off the bench. Denny gives you 12 in the starting lineup. Is this Wizards team a team that is going to require 3 or more scorers, 20-plus, to get wins?
And it's a great question. And, you know, we probably jinxed Kispert. He was shooting 65% from
Right.
We talked about him before. He was 13 and 19 going in, shooting 65%. On the road, probably not going to happen. He had a couple threes that just didn't go, you know. But that's the evolution of Corey Kispert, who's only in his 2nd year. Remember, is that he's going to play better at home. Now, can you travel? Can you do that in the next game? You don't have any flights. Just hit some threes next game. But Rui has been scoring a lot off the bench. Beal's your all-star, and Monte Morris is your starting point guard. I know there's no excuses, but once again, a valiant fight. I personally like Todd. What do you think? I like seeing Taj Gibson out there.
Look, Taj is fun because, as I said before, he's one of those guys, since he's a savvy vet, you don't really have to give him an assignment.
He
just say,
he
hey,
knew
Taj,
to just go to the foul
in.
line and make. He made 2 out of 3 from that high post area against his. Like, he saw the zone and said, high post, I'll make these.
Right.
I think he might be a guy that can help them down the road.
I think that's one of the things this is one of the reasons we brought him in here, for that reason. You don't have to instruct him. He's a vet. You plug and play him, you get it going. I want to bring in Megan McPeak as well, because Megan, obviously, this is not the outcome that we wanted. However, I want to get your first initial thoughts about what you saw from tonight's game in Miami.
Well, coming into this game, when I talked to assistant coach Ryan Richmond, I asked him about the defense. It wasn't just the perimeter defense. He also touched on defending the paint, defending in transition. At halftime, they had 12 fast break points. At the end of the game, Miami had 12 fast break points. So they adjusted something at halftime there. The other thing, too, was offensive rebounding. In the first half, they gave Miami 10 offensive boards. In the second half, only 4. So it was the fact that you had adjustments made at halftime and you fixed what wasn't working in the first half. Unfortunately, you just dug yourself too much of a hole that it was hard to get out of, and you exerted so much energy just to get back into it in the second half that you just didn't have much left down the tank.
Megan, one of the other things, too, that I was seeing, and tell me if you were seeing the same thing, because I get the benefit of watching on the game. You're there in the arena. There were a couple of times in the offensive set of the Wizards where it just didn't seem to have a flow. And I know we've gone through offensive drills with head coach Wes Unseld Jr. What are you seeing offensively that they can make an adjustment to that might bode well 48 hours from now?
In all honesty, it's kind of what I mentioned in the pregame, and it's moving the ball, and sharing is caring, as you had touched on. And you notice this Wizards team, when they start moving the ball, it usually ends up in some really good shots. There was a couple times, especially late in the game, where they had a great ball movement and they got really great looks. Did the shots fall? Not necessarily. A couple of them did, a couple of them didn't. That's going to happen. At the end of the day, it is the game of basketball. The ball doesn't always bounce in your favor. But in the first half, I thought when they didn't have ball movement and they were very stagnant on offense, that's when things got ugly, and you saw turnovers, you saw steals from Miami, and they were able to get out in transition or get some big threes. So I think when you look first half to second half, the ball movement was another big thing. I just would like to see it happen consistently for a full 48 minutes, and I know that's not going to happen because this is not a perfect world, and the game of basketball has flaws, and they're humans and they have flaws. But when this team moves the ball, we have seen it. We saw it in that 6-game homestand. They have success, and it usually ends up in the ball falls, as you love to say, Wes.
That's right. Well, Megan, I appreciate that. Don't move too far right now. We got head coach Wes Unseld Jr. at the post-game podium. I want to hear what he has to say about tonight's loss.
I thought it was a difference of the first half and second half. Just our overall energy. I thought we got outworked the bulk of that first half. And the difference in our purpose, a little bit more grit, toughness in that second half, changed the game.
Would you have liked to have seen your defenders get up closer to Lowry on some of his three-point attempts in that first half? And I guess that also goes for some of the other three-point attempts that they made later in the game.
Well, I think some of them later in the game were a bit tougher, but, I think it was just the comfort level that he was playing with in that first half. Even in zone, man, regardless of the coverage, if a guy gets going, you have to, adjust a little bit. You got to get up, higher pickup points. You can't just let him, walk into those threes. He had 5 in that first half, and he was just playing with a lot of comfort. Scored 24, I think, in that first half. I think only 4 in that second, so he did a much better job.
Wes, how did you guys go about making those threes tougher in the second half? And then they had 6 in the fourth, so what was going wrong as the game got wound
Well,
up?
some of it was just, Martin hits the bank 3, and, some of those are just going to go in. But I thought in general, we were much more aggressive, defensively. And I think that helped. It allowed us to get stops, which helped facilitate easier offense in transition. Forced them to play man, when you get stops, and I think that helped us. But, they made some shots late. And, I think we got a little fatigued, but I thought it was a hell of a job, down 21, climbing your way back into a ball game.
How do you guys feel like you did at the point guard position generally? Obviously, Denny brought the ball up a lot. Jordan was in there with his first start.
We knew, they were going to play quite a bit of zone. They didn't play as much as they did, last game in D.C., but when that happens, you don't really need a primary facilitator. You can bring the ball up, you can initiate your zone offense, and you kind of flow into it that way.
Wes, what prompted you to go with Taj again in the second half?
No, just once again, there was a little bit of foul trouble, but just changing the energy. I thought that group was good. We got out a little bit, got some stops, were able to get out and run. You just read the flow of the game. You just kind of pick and choose, and you try to find a guy who helps the whole group. And I thought Taj did that once again.
Was part of your decision trying to improve the team's defensive rebounding as well?
A little bit, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does the team play harder when Brad isn't playing?
I don't know if that's a fair question, honestly. I don't know. I mean, I think it's one of those things with all teams. You know, we played harder for the second half. I mean, I don't know if you're going to get the effort that we as coaches want for 48 minutes. The challenge is, can we get it, you know, for as close to 48 as possible? But I can't sit here and say this team plays harder with or without, you know, a certain guy.
How close were your three injured guys, your three of the four injured guys, Monte, Rui, Brad, to playing tonight?
I think they were going to give it a go. I mean, I think they up until the last minute they were, you know, getting treatments, trying to activate, finding a way to find comfort, you know, where they could get out and perform at a high level. And it just didn't happen tonight. So I'm hopeful they'll be available Friday.
Indeed, hoping for availability for guys tonight, because when certain players are out, there's adjustments to the roster. That includes Will Barton and the bench. What can they give the Wizards tonight? And more importantly, what can they give the Wizards on Friday? We'll have that answer and more on the other side when PostGame Live returns. Thanks, Coach. All right. A lot.
25 years.
25 years, right?
I played a bunch in that arena. Beat Kansas and Paul Pierce, my best win there.
And I remember Paul Pierce calling game on that same arena, on that same court back in 2014-15. Look at us just making it all come together here. Megan, first of all, I have to acknowledge something. For those at home who are wondering what this is a plastic turkey. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, thank you for maintaining your composure, Megan. In the spirit of Thanksgiving.
Turn down the other one.
In the spirit of this, I want to keep this conversation going about the bench. What grade do you give the bench performance tonight? And obviously there's room to improve. What can they improve on for Friday?
You know, I hate to do this, but I'm going to be tough on them because we've seen what this bench can do. And I completely understand that you are missing Rui Hachimura, who is a double-digit scorer coming off of the bench. I take that into consideration. But in games without Rui, they have still stepped up. So at this point tonight, based on this game, I would give them a C+. And it is in no way because of them not doing anything, because they did come into this game and gave you something. But it also gets thrown off when you think of the fact that in different situations, guys from the bench have been inserted into the starting lineup. And that can really throw off your rotation when you think of what guys are used to, when you think of what guys are used to rotating in different situations at certain points of the game. So I totally get that. But I just would like to see the bench be a little bit more consistent. And when you think of the fact that the bench gets thrown out of whack, I understand that that's going to affect the consistency. So that's why I'm giving them a C+ just based off of tonight. But I expect them to bounce back Friday.
I appreciate that. And just so people know, the bench points was only 23-22. The Wizards did win that, but Will Barton gave you 13. Coach, I know we were looking for the Will Barton breakout game. I think he took a step closer to that, but we still haven't seen that one where it's a total takeover yet. And I know he can do it.
No, but he's filling into his role. Like I said, he started a long time. Look, he had 13 and 7, so he did his job. I want to see a little more out of Gafford, but he might need more minutes to do it. Rui's your scorer on that team. And by the way, Jordan Goodwin's been coming off the bench. So it's been a little bit of everybody trying to figure out their role. But yeah. Will's 13 and 7. They took the lead with him. He's coming around. He's finding his way. You know, the Kispert, whether it's Kispert or Denny or someone else has to come up and step up. They're really bench players that are forced to start. You know, this is not having your all-star out there. And Monte Morris, who played a ton of minutes last year in Denver, had a fantastic year, filling in for Jamal Murray. I mean, they had the Joker MVP. This is a real guy. And then Rui, who's just a mid-range machine coming off the bench. Those were 3 big losses. I wouldn't overanalyze it. I think, yes, we can improve, but if Corey Kispert plays better next time, then you probably win the game. But here comes Beal, here comes Rui, here comes Monte. We at least need one of them back, though, for Friday, in my opinion. And let me say, just bounce back, get the win, right, Megan? Just get the win. I thought Jordan Goodwin did good, though, in his first start.
That's actually where I was about to go, Megan. Jordan Goodwin now inserted into the starting lineup. How do you grade his performance tonight?
On an aside, I feel like I'm the Jordan Goodwin spokesperson at this point.
We all are, because he's been a headline maker for at least 2 weeks. So we bear the burden with you.
I would give his performance tonight a B- because getting your first start, you're going to have a little bit of nerves. And I understand that Jordan likes to put on that tough persona and that tough mask and act like he's ready for the moment. And he is. But at the same time, I think that the guys he was guarding, because he saw different people. He saw Kyle Lowry. He saw Tyler Hero. He saw Caleb Martin. I think they got the better of him, and that's okay. You're not going to be perfect every single game on both ends of the floor. Yes, he is a defender known as that way, and you're not going to be perfect every single night as a defender. That's okay. You're going to have mistakes. You're going to have lapses. It's basketball. That is the way professional sports goes. So I would give him a B-. But to what you guys were just talking about with the bench, just an aside, when it comes to Rui, Monte, and Brad, I was at shoot-around this morning, and they looked pretty good. So I'm with Coach Patsos and hopeful that we get all three of them back on Friday. I have no inside knowledge. I'm going to make that very clear. I am just guessing here based on the eye test of what based on the eye test of what I saw this morning at shoot around on the three of them. They did some of the shoot around, they did some of the walkthrough, and then obviously they did their workouts in order to see how they're feeling when it came to getting ready game time. So my guess is we could see all three back, or at least two of them. Again, no inside information on that.
They would be a welcome addition back into this roster, but I'm going to put a thumbtack on that subject until Friday. For right now, because of what happens tomorrow, let's shift the conversation to Thanksgiving. We were sitting there thinking about, like, the part of the fun and pageantry of Thanksgiving is who you're sitting at the table with. Who do you break bread with? So we asked ourselves, Wizards fans, to come up with who would we like to have a Thanksgiving table with for this Thanksgiving. Megan, I'll let you go first. Who are the, and this gives you the entire basketball universe to play with. Give me the 4 people that you want to have at your Thanksgiving table.
So I had the late, great Kobe Bryant, of course.
Yes.
Don Staley.
Yes.
Their resumes speak for themselves. I had Zeke, a.k.a. Isaiah Thomas, the original Isaiah Thomas, and, of course, the late, great Mr. Bill Russell.
Wow, that's a great list. Like, first of all, that's an all-time great list. Look at all the Hall of Famers. And having Kobe Bryant in there, the 5-time NBA champion, Black Mamba, like Kobe, I don't even need to say he's special because we all understand that, Megan, do we not?
Right. We do. And I have to also mention this, an honorary mention, because you're probably wondering, people might be wondering, well, you're Canadian. Why aren't you picking Vince Carter? Like, that's Mr. Air Canada, all half man, half amazing. He gets honorable mention because we could only do 4. Since we are the 5th person at the table.
You can slide a little chair over for
If
Vince.
I could have done
Vince.
5, I would have put him in. But since we only did 4 and we're the 5th player, I did not put him on my list.
I'm taking you to Columbia, South Carolina. I know Dawn Staley. She's in our little, I have another
Big
job
fan.
with a little group.
Big fan.
That she actually wins the national championship. You got to leave Boston.
Asia Wilson was here tonight. They put her on the Jumbotron.
In the WNBA? You mean the girl that kicked butt? And
Asia Wilson was here tonight.
That's why Las Vegas won the whole thing. I like Kelsey Plum and those other girls. Asia Wilson was unstoppable in the WNBA finals. But Dawn Staley, competitive, fiery.
I love it. I love that list. Great job, Megan. We appreciate it as always. Until we see each other next time, enjoy your Thanksgiving down in Miami.
Guys and gals in the studio and in the truck, happy Thanksgiving to you guys as well.
Appreciate that.
Great having you on board.
It's fun. Coach, coming up here in a little bit, we're going to actually go in the locker room. Here's some player sound from the guys who performed on the court tonight. And by the way, Wizards fans, shout out to you for what you did with these cherry blossom jerseys. Hard to find. Why? Because you bought all of them. And I say this because I want one. So can y'all just share? Ron, and of course, Gil. But right now, a bold predictions recap. Coach, this is brought to you by Greenberg and Betterman. Remember to go to gblawyers.com and feel better. Tonight's prediction, Kyle Kuzma having better than his season averages in points, rebounds, and assists. It would have been 28-4 is what we had. But the result tonight, 33 points, 7 boards, 1 assist.
But if we added them up, it would have won.
I see what you did.
Jim, the producer, wouldn't let me do it that way. In other words, you add up to 19, the 8, and the 3. You add up to 33, 7, and 1. His production was above average.
I see what you're doing, making the math work. Again, brought to you by Greenberg and Betterman. Go to gblawyers.com and feel better. Right now, Kyle Kuzma in the postgame locker room, but his thoughts about making the math add all up.
You know, you saw down the stretch, fourth quarter, into the third, we did what we had to do to get back in the game, but we have to just flip it and then now do it in the first and second quarter.
What was the difference in the third?
Just our energy and our physicality. I think if you look at the 2 games that we played the Heat so far this year has really been the same story. You know, we won one, but if you look at it, both first halves, we were down 15, 16 points and not playing to our level, and it really allowed them to get confidence to get early and just to play with a lead from the entire game, and it's a recipe for disaster. So,
Kyle, how does the team's approach change in terms of energy, whatever, when Brad does not play?
You know, it's always like a next man up mentality, and guys, you know, can do a lot of things, right? When you look at a guy like Denny, you know, when Brad's not playing, you know, he's a little bit more heightened. He has more opportunity to do more things, get into the paint, pass, so on and so forth. And everybody kind of just gets to play a little bit more. I don't know about if there's a mentality or not, because the only mentality we can really have is just having that next man up mentality, because he's going to be out. You know, KP may be out, everybody can't play all 82 games, and it's all up to us to come in and step up when we need to when a brother's out, down and out. So.
How do you regroup to play the same team 2 games in a row?
Oh, we just got to watch the film and just figure out what we need to do. And, I mean, it's not really too much to really do outside of just play hard. You know, if we can play hard and we can master physicality from the jump, we're going to give our chance to be in a slugfest. And I look forward to Friday. Look forward to it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Locker room right now, it's time for our FanDuel recap, where you can make every moment more. Coach, coming into this game, our pregame wagers that were available to you. First basket, Kristaps Porzingis at plus 380. A $10 bet would have won you $38. Kyle Kuzma, 30-plus points, plus 1,000. A $10 bet would have won you $100. Kyle Kuzma had 33 points tonight, Coach.
That's the one we should have taken with Beal out.
You
By
know-
the way, you got to like what Kuzma said.
Yeah.
You're down 15 twice to the Miami Heat. You can't expect to probably win both, was what he was saying. So you got to split.
Yeah.
But now, don't go down 15-0. Kuzma, one thing I like about Kuz is very honest guy.
And a high basketball IQ.
High, oh, super high. Flint, Michigan, to the University of Utah when they were really good. Played with Pirtle, played with DeLon Wright, all those guys. But Kuz is like, we went down 15 twice. We can't do that Friday because you just can't expect to win against a championship caliber team, which is what the Heat is. I mean, they went to game 7 against the Celtics last season for a reason.
Yeah.
Well, his point is to play hard from the jump, not have those little lapses where they get down 10 or 15, and you're fine. And I think that's a very mature way to look at it. You got the split being down 15, get Friday, but not going down 15. I like that. I liked his interview.
I'm curious about Porzingis, too. 21 points. I mentioned the 9 boards as well, but he was 2 for 9 from the arc tonight. What do you make of his game, and is there another wrinkle to his game that I think could help?
I think Porzingis is playing great. I'm not even worried about him.
Great.
I'm happy with him.
You've never said something.
No, I'm just happy with him. You know, he's not why we lost or anything. I mean, he's fine.
I never hear, like, I'm just dumbfounded right now. You're a coach, and for a coach to just give a straight two-sided compliment, I'm like,
I ain't worried about him. We got other things to worry about. We got other stuff to worry about.
He's fine. He can leave the locker room. The rest of y'all got film session in the morning. I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much. Hey, if you didn't already know, FanDuel is now live in Maryland. You can get $200 in free bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. And you can download the FanDuel app right now and start making every moment more. Full screen from tonight. Final score 113-105. The Wizards fall to the Miami Heat in South Beach for one night of 2 that'll happen within 48 hours. Wizards now 10-8. Tonight's matchup down in Miami, a brief moment of silence was taken for the victims of 3 of the most recent senseless mass shootings. Everyone here at NBC Sports Washington sends our thoughts and prayers to those affected and their families.
Moderate to severe eczema still disrupts my skin. Despite treatment, it disrupts my skin with itch. It disrupts my skin with rash. But now, I can disrupt eczema with Rinvoq. Rinvoq is not a steroid, topical, or injection. It's one pill, once a day, that's effective without topical steroids. Many taking Rinvoq saw clear or almost clear skin, while some saw up to 100% clear skin. Plus, they felt fast itch relief, some as early as 2 days. That's Rinvoq relief.
Rinvoq can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB, serious infections and blood clots, some fatal, cancers, including lymphoma and skin cancer, death, heart attack, stroke, and tears in the stomach or intestines occurred. People 50 and older with at least one heart disease risk factor have higher risks. Don't take if allergic to Rinvoq, as serious reactions can occur. Tell your doctor if you are or may become pregnant.
Disrupt the itch and rash of eczema. Talk to your doctor about Rinvoq.
Learn how AbbVie can help you save.
This is Todd. And this is Sarah.
She's leaving for Paris.
But this isn't your classic holiday rom-com. It's a Nissan Aventador.
Seriously?
Featuring the Nissan Rogue. And more standard power than a CR-V.
This is a love emergency.
Don't let true love or these offers get away.
Now get a low $199 per month lease on Altima.
Todd and Sarah are in love. But this isn't your classic rom-com. It's a Nissan Aventador. Don't let true love or these offers get away.
Make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
At Checkers, we're celebrating fry season greetings with the Fry Lovers Burger. Get the classic hand-seasoned patty with American cheese and piled with our oh-so-famous seasoned fries. And now, the Fry Lovers Burger is part of the 2 for $5.50 mix and match menu for a limited time. Want even more? Taste Checkers Fry Season Holiday Hero, the super loaded Buford. All the bacon, fries, and whoa, a double burger can hold. Don't miss out. Just like the holidays, these will be gone before you know it. Fry season greetings from Checkers.
Todd and Sarah are in love. But this isn't your classic rom-com. It's a Nissan Aventador. Don't let true love or these offers get away.
Make no payments until February 2023 on select vehicles.
NBC Sports Washington, your home of the Wizards.
Coach, Denny gave us a double-double tonight. Take me in the film room. Tell me what you saw.
Yeah, and he was close to a triple-double. Look, Denny's gotten better. He's learning to adjust to the NBA game. He had a really good summer. The more he gets into the paint, like here, see, I'm just a guy, I like paint points anyways. I think it opens up everything on the outside. That's a tough move. That's a big physical guard move, but not backing away, no fading away. He said, Tyler Hero, you're 6'5", I'm 6'8". Here it's just his usual defense. Recovers on Lowry, doesn't go for the fake, then gets his hands out. Remember, he's got the toughest defensive assignment, and that wears on you in the course of a game. He played a lot of minutes tonight. I just think Denny's really coming into his own. Like, here's another good play. Keeping it simple, give it to Porzingis. Now slip the screen, get it. They don't really help at first, so he finds out where the defense is. Now when they're all around him, watch him. See, they help up, easy pass, layup for Kuzma. Like when the defense helps up, just drop it off. This was the best play I thought he made all night, actually, because he cut really hard. You thought he was going to have an uncontested shot. All of a sudden, Miami, good defense. Look at all the guys around him.
Collapse.
What does he do? Shot fake. The old John Wooden, we'll talk about that in a second. Shot fake, take it to the other side, layup, That's like, he's just maturing.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in that organization, including myself, talking to Tommy and John Thompson III and Wes, his basketball is definitely ahead of him. And he's improving rapidly, but he answered the bell tonight.
Yeah, no, I talked about it. He's fourth highest scorer, but when he gave you this close to a triple-double, I'll take it anytime I can, Coach. Always appreciated when we get you in the film room. But something else is going on right now, Coach? It's Gobble Gobble Eve. Yes, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. Not yet. We're only about an hour and 20 minutes away from it here on the East Coast. But, of course, it's that time of year when you get to gather around friends and family and just share the time that we are afforded together. That's why it is called the present. And sometimes reflect on that. Well, as we do so do the Wizards players. Here's a great response from Kristaps Porzingis on what he's thankful for.
I mean, I don't want to give a simple answer. I'm thankful for my family. Of course I'm thankful for my family, but I think I'm thankful for all the ups and downs in life, because without the downs, there's no point to anything. If everything is just always great and this and that, then it wouldn't be the same. So from every bad situations that I've had, I always came out better and I always came out stronger and with a better mindset. So I think that's something we all got to appreciate.
Unicorn appreciates the ups and the downs, kind of like a roller coaster, which is rather ironic coming from a 7'3" guy who can't fit on a roller coaster because I'm a 6'5" and I struggle to get on one. But I'm happy for him. But, Coach, I want to do something that we did with Megan earlier. We asked her about her Thanksgiving table with 4 people in the basketball universe. She gave us a great list. So now I'm putting you on the spot, Coach. Who are the 4 people at your table for this Thanksgiving?
Look, and Jim's allowed to come, our producer, because he's a Boston guy who would appreciate Red Auerbach. I love Jim. And by the way, Amanda had a big win as his lovely partner, American, you beat Georgetown. So a lot out there to be grateful for. You got to take Red Auerbach. He taught me my most valuable lesson. Go to lunch. It's half the time and half the price.
Wait a second. Say that again.
It's half the time and half the price. Think about it when you go to nice restaurants. It's quicker, and they always have lunch specials.
I'm done doing dinner dates.
But usually you're at a table. I want Red sitting next to Wilt so they can discuss, sort of all the times.
Discuss? That's a night of
Hey, I just want to see how that goes. And then I'm in the middle. Of course, John Wooden, the greatest college coach in the world. I was a college coach. And I want him to sit next to Big House Gaines, who, Coach Joe, hey, Earl Monroe is changing the game in Wake Forest.
About Winston-Salem State. My sister-in-law went there.
Gary Williams tells a story about them going to play Wake, and they stuck over and couldn't get in to see, the pro play. But here's the thing. I'd like to hear John Wooden and Big House Gaines talk about, like, John Wooden got the opportunity at UCLA, and Big House Gaines, because it was a different time, didn't really get the chance to coach at NC State or at Carolina or whatever. I'd like to see them next to each other.
I'm curious about the personalities of Red Wilt. Like, between the, what hornet's nest are you going to kick when you get those two together? Because I know you're going to ask him something to start a whole.
This guy can play in the modern era. I don't want to hear that. I love Russell's championship, but this guy will. I mean, look at him. But I just like to hear him, I'm sure Red would say, hey, we had better surrounding players than you did. It's not just Bill Russell, and I just like to hear those two chat up close.
Classic matchups from back in the day. Coach, I love your list. I don't want to take up too much time with mine, but I do want to share with the world.
Oh, your list is important.
My list might be kind of cool. Let's see who we got here.
Pat Summer was my alternate.
Hey, look, man. First of all, Bill Russell, just because, if you did not already know, I shouldn't have to explain it. Greg Popovich, because Pop is so unique and such a savant, I have to be around him. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I mean, come on. We couldn't even fit everything on the screen. And Pat Head Summit, look. Good old Rocky Top. Pat is the truth. This is the one table in life where I would never say anything. I would sit with a notepad and just take notes like I'm a secretary. Whatever I have to do to gain the knowledge from these 4 people, these are greats. And look, 2 things I noticed. Everybody that we all picked on all 3 of our lists are all Basketball Hall of Famers.
How about that?
And we all included Bill Russell, who, of course, rather fitting that we pay a tribute after his recent passing. Coach, I think we did good on Thanksgiving for him.
No, we didn't, Jim's happy. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot to be grateful for. But the Wizards going to find out on Friday what they're made of, because come back and get that road win.
Couldn't have said it better myself. We're back on the other side. PostGame Live.
NBC Sports Washington. Your home of the Capitals.
Innovation, transformation, IT cadre. When your program is challenging, visualize your success. Your vision, our purpose.
At Domino's, next time you order 2 medium 2-topping pizzas for $6.99 each, you could be in for a shock. Because hundreds of new electric vehicles are rolling out to deliver Domino's across America.
You good? I'm great.
This new tent's amazing.
Yeah. And it was easy to pay off with the low rates on our Platinum card from Navy Federal Credit Union. Can't imagine where we'd be without them.
You should.
Yeah.
Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission.
The holidays. If only FanDuel could set the odds. Happy holidays. Odds on when the annual family debate will happen. Or how long until Aunt Julie talks about her psoriasis.
Also, I think it's
And if Grandpa's in a food coma or a real coma. Everything in life is a bet. But life doesn't offer you $125 in free bets when you bet just 5. So bet on America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel, and make every moment more.
to build the all-new Honda CR-V Hybrid. We took everything you love about the CR-V and kicked it up a notch with excellent fuel efficiency and greater power. For a CR-V unlike any before, adventure confidently with the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker in America. The all-new CR-V and CR-V Hybrid, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
On the court, every decision counts. And when it comes to a great season, the decisions made off the court matter too. At MedStar Health, we're proud the Wizards choose us for their medical care. For generations, the DMV has trusted MedStar Health. We provide the same quality care to the Wizards and their fans, because every great choice comes down to trust. MedStar Health, it's how we treat people.
All right, Coach, we're taking a trip around the association. Something I have not seen tonight, but I was told that I was really going to enjoy this. Pump fake from the perimeter from Miles Turner. Oh, no, Coach. Coach, can we take a timeout, Coach, when somebody does that? How do we stop that momentum from being built? Miles Turner
You
jumping.
don't. By the way, the Pacers in general are a surprise team this year.
Yes, they are. See, a lot of people counted them out. You might want to count your blessings and hope that you don't have to take the hit from it. Looking at this, I want to see it again. Pump fake. First of all, Big Cat, why'd you close out so... Oh, my word. Oh, my word. Miles Turner. Wow. Coach, want to remind people, of course, Friday, Miami, one more again. Real quick, what's the number one thing the Wizards have to prioritize to getting it up?
Just don't fall down by 15. Kyle Kuzma said it. It's toughness, it's gritty, it's a Miami team, but just don't get down 15 and win it at the end. We'll win it by a couple. We'll hit a 3 to win it.
All right, now I'm going to let you have a chance to tell anybody that you won. You want to wish them Thanksgiving?
I'm just happy to Rich Wolf and all the production team and everybody, LaMichael, Jim, and all you guys. And most important, Bill Bell and Frank are giving us a chance.
Look at you being all nice to everybody. Well, on behalf of Coach Jimmy Patsos, our entire crew and staff here at NBC Sports Washington, we wish you and yours the happiest Thanksgiving. Take some time, relax, and get ready for Friday, because we're back here, ready to do it again. Looking for a dub. I'm Wes Hall. It's Coach Patsos. Happy Thanksgiving, guys. Enjoy your day tomorrow. And save some mac and cheese for me if you don't mind.